this RV for 8 months. We left after Christmas of this year and did a fair amount of traveling, so we feel like we can talk about it a little bit. We're often asked questions about details. How do we manage to live with 3 kids and a dog in our RV and travel and do all these things? So we just want to show you a little bit what our house looks like and what do we do, how we manage to put things away, what we upgraded, what we like, what we don't like. So we'll talk about some of that. So why did we pick this particular model? We obviously liked Airstream because it's so iconic and we wanted one, but the price tag on those is a little bit out of our budget. So then one day I was looking at auction, which I used to do a lot, and then I ran into a similar model like this. It was a little bit shorter and it kind of looks like Airstream but without the price tag. The name of this travel trailer is Keystone Vantage 32 QBS. So from bumper to hitch it's 35 feet, but the model says 32. Keystone only made this trailer for 2 years, 2012 and 2013, so ours is 2012. We really like the rounded and one color outside and big windows, and there is a lot of windows, so there is a lot of natural light here. Also, we like that it has a front bedroom, and then in the back it has bunk beds, and there is 4 of them. At the moment we're only using 3, and one we just took the mattress out and we put some bins. We use that as a storage. Alright, so let me show you around. So this is a true queen bed which has a lot of storage. We really like this option because we get to put away a lot of the stuff that we don't really use, like extra bedding, towels. I got my sewing machine. I'll show you that in the next episode. So we have laundry basket, some dog food, and just some extra stuff that we don't use every day, so we just put it in here, which is great. So I picked up these hooks at Home Depot. It basically is just, they just snap like this. So we have our broom and our mop here, and it's out of the way. It doesn't take any room. And it's easy to get to if we need it. One thing that's must have is this Dyson Vacuum. It's battery powered. It's really awesome. It makes it real easy to just clean up if we need to pick some stuff up, like spilled cereal or something like that. And it has a nice little holder and it's plugged in, so it's always charged and it's there when you need it. Another thing, we had fishing poles and we just didn't have place to put it, so it lives in my bedroom. I just picked up some of these hooks on Amazon and it just snaps right in and it keeps things organized and in place. Another addition that we did, there's plenty of room to walk around, but things like computer and Nadia's journals and stuff like that, with all of these loose things around, it really clutters the space. So I added just piece of wood, and it's a quick little shelf that goes in there, but it kind of keeps a lot of things handy, that it's easily accessible but out of the way. We like plants and we feel like it makes it kind of more homier. But then again, when you move in, you always had to put them away. When we first started traveling, we used to put them all in the sink on the travel days. Well, that kind of got annoying. So then I went to Home Depot and picked up this just copper wire. I forgot what gauge it is, but it's pretty sturdy. And I just bended it with pliers, and our plants now have permanent homes, so that's one less thing that we have to think about on travel days. Another thing they have at Home Depot, these double stick tape that easily peels off, and these are battery powered lights. A lot of times we found when we were going to bed, but Nadia still wanted to read a book or do something, and we just didn't want all those big lights on. This is a very handy light, and it's easy to put on. It takes 3 AAA batteries, and it lasts actually quite a while because it's LED. This little shelf that was part of our pantry, and it was pretty annoying because you can't really keep anything in here but salt and pepper, otherwise things either fall out, and it's very small and doesn't hold anything. So I'll show you what I did with the pantry. But this was a very good place for like our little headlights and things like that that we use sometimes in the evening or for other things, and it's kind of out of the way. Same thing with these hooks and that double stick tape. If you need to move it, you just pull this down and you could move hooks to a different location. But it's a good place to put your keys away or headphones, dog stuff, whatever. We also figured out that it's nice to put reminders. Like this is our power slide, and sometimes we're hooking something up with a little bungee cord, and this is just a reminder so we wouldn't forget to undo it before we put the slide out. So that just lives there. Between 5 of us, we have quite a bit of shoes. Back in Florida, I did the similar rack here for the shoes like I did in the bedroom, but that's just for the shoes, and it keeps things kind of nice and clean. We do have more shoes that's in the bin under our bed, but this is just our everyday stuff that we use, and we'll link the video where I made this in Florida. That I work with, many of you probably use these Costco bottles. They're amazing, but we have 4 of those and they kind of take room on the counter. So then IKEA has this wine rack that's really cheap, but it kind of keeps things put away and it's nice and neat. This couch over here definitely seen better days. So I just picked up some other material that I'm gonna reupholster this. Also turns into a bed, but we used it twice since we've been on the road, and it's a nice option, but we just don't use it as much. This dinette also turns into a bed. We're also gonna do some remodeling with that, but we use it all the time. And since we're homeschooling, we have most of our books over here that we store, and some of the pencils and stuff like that. So here we have a small little pantry that I'm probably gonna end up fixing it up a little bit, but it has extra counter space that we thought it was great, but we never really use this because it gets kind of heavy and the hinges just don't hold it as good as I would like them to. So this is a nice storage, but we don't use it as anything else. And the best place for dishes we found in this drawer right under the bench here. So that's where we keep our plates and cups and stuff like that. So it's easily accessible and it's easy to put away. Okay, so here's the kitchen. Let's talk a little bit about that. We initially really liked the kitchen because it's not very big one, but it's very useful. Because this countertop normally comes up to here. This one's extra deep. I really like this round sink when we were getting the trailer, but after traveling for a little bit, it just turns out to be, it's a little bit too small. I have wasted space around it. So I'm going to remodel this and put a bigger sink and change the faucet, and we're going to make this better. Now these hoods over here, they're really useless. Like it just makes a lot of noise if you turn it on. But when you cook, it barely does anything. And after looking around a little bit, it doesn't even have a hole to the outside. So it basically runs the air through some filter and returns back inside. So we're probably gonna end up taking this thing completely out. So this microwave over here, we really don't use it as much. So we're probably gonna end up taking this thing out completely and just redoing this a little bit. Another quick little upgrade that's probably not even noticeable that much. I put this LED strip. You could just buy these things on Amazon or eBay. They're about $12 for a whole strip, and they're at 12 volts. So I just wired them directly to the light that was already here, and it makes things a lot brighter. Without it, it was just really dark, and cooking, anything else you did, you just felt like you needed to have a flashlight. So we added this light, and it makes a big difference. So we're definitely going to keep the light or come up with something similar. Now this is our water filter. Nadia originally bought this at home when we used it. And initially I wasn't really crazy about it because it takes so much space. But it's a really good filter. And it's gravity fed. So basically we just put water in there, and it has 2 charcoal filters. And then overnight, this whole section of water filters down, so that's what we use for drinking, making coffee, tea, cooking, stuff like that. And another thing that I did with it, I come up with this little bracket in the back, and as of right now, we just bungee corded, kind of strapped this thing here. So it's pretty solid. So when we move and we have to travel, we don't have to do anything with it. The slide just goes in, and then we're ready to go. Another thing that we really liked about this trailer that it does have a slide. It's not a very deep slide, but it's pretty long. So when we take the slide out, it actually gives us a lot more room to walk around. But when we travel, a lot of times we just leave the slide in because we could get to the bathroom and the fridge and everything we need to get to. It's just the walkway becomes a lot narrower. Right behind TV there is a bathroom. So let's go, I'll show you that. Okay, so for RV, this bathroom is actually a really good size. It has a small sink. We need to upgrade this faucet because we don't really like it too much. We haven't really done anything here. IKEA has these drawer organizers, and they work really well. They're just fabric and collapsible, but they fit nicely in there and they don't slide out, and then kind of keeps everything organized. This shower is actually really big, so it's easy to wash the kids when they get really dirty, and it has a tub, so a lot of times Daria will have a little bath there. So I'm not exactly a big guy, but there is plenty of room, and this skylight, it's actually pretty awesome because it brings a lot of light to the bathroom. I wish we had one of those in the kitchen. We also found this little oil heater or register, whatever you want to call this thing, very helpful. Because anytime that we have electric, we just plug this in for the night. It takes a little while to warm up the trailer, but it keeps it nice and warm, and we don't have to use our furnace because it's kind of loud and it takes a lot of propane if you use it all the time. This thing is pretty efficient. It works great, and we don't have to worry about this being a fire hazard or anything like that. So here we have a standard RV fridge that has a freezer, and it's actually quite an art to pack this thing. So Nadia is really good at that. But this is the pantry that I talked about a little bit earlier. It had those little wire racks, and I ended up taking this out in Florida, and I just built these bigger shelves, and it holds a lot of our oil and spices and all of these things. It's easy to get to when you're cooking, and keeps things out of the way. So it's probably one of our favorite upgrades so far. We are in the back of the trailer, and we have 4 bunks in the back here. On this side you have 2 single bunks. Daria sleeps on the bottom here, and this top one we just took it out and we put some bins where we have waffle maker, our mixer, Instapot, just some extra stuff like that, like backpacks. And this one is full of toys, which a lot of this is gonna have to stay home because we already got rid of a bunch of stuff. We took way too much when we left, and we feel like we still have way too much stuff with us. So we need to donate some stuff, take some stuff back home to Cleveland, and rearrange a few things. On that side, we have twin beds, so they're actually kind of deep. So that's where the boys sleep. This is Benny's bed. You probably noticed the beetle. So Jaden sleeps over here, and in the back here we also put another similar shelf like that, and that's where we put away a lot of the books that they use for reading and Daria's bedtime stories and all of that. All of the windows in the trailer, they do open, and this one is actually an emergency exit if need be, one on each side. So there is a lot of ventilation here. Even if it gets hot during the day, when we open the windows, there is a lot of cross breeze, so it cools off really quick. We love this RV, and we think it's very unique. If you hadn't had a chance yet, subscribe to our channel. We have videos coming out every week, and hit the bell for notifications, and like. Also comment. We would love to hear from you.